Well, you guys ready, boys? Let's research the new gun lancer for a second and see if there's any big changes that we need to do. Based on the buffs, right? Just a generic land scale buff, and we took out the 4% and the synergy, the back attack synergy, so it's minus 4% technically because when you do a head attack. But this is increased by 4.3 again, and 3.1 on technically this thing, and the tripods as well. So it's an overall damage increase, so nothing else. But the stuff I wanted to really test out things is the bash. We increased it from 5 to 6 seconds. Other than that, everything else is just not really a major change that makes different tripods where you have to take different engravings. Let's kind of wrap up like what my build is gonna be in the future, or if I'm gonna be switching blue or red. Like I probably have to need to like I looked at some, so I took my time and look at some invents and look at everyone's feedback. I talked to some people, so let's go over them step by step. So right now, let's talk over red first. So red is usually crit and swift, right? What my red did was I gave earring to swiftness because my crit rate by default is 72%. So I don't know if this is okay. So if you look at here with if you have entropy, you get 22% crit rate on entropy, and obviously doing a head attack, it's additional damage. Back attack is additional crit, but head attack is additional damage. So technically I have 74% crit rate right now. Oh, the Lone Knight is not, yeah, you're right. Lone Knight is not calculated in. Okay, good. So if you go level 3 Lone Knight, this is like Keen Blunt with giving you crit rate, which is 15%. So 74 plus 15 is 89%. So I have 89% crit rate. That's why I gave him earring, because imagine I have like, let's say Zeals in my team, or let's say I have a gunslinger in my team, like a war dancer, right? War dancer, like crit synergy. So it's 89 plus 10, so it's 99. But if I have someone like a lance master, or a striker, that's plus 18. So I'm over critting. So this particular thing, I have 99 crit if I have crit synergy in my team. If I have more than one crit synergy, I have over another ring that I can swap to give more swiftness. All right, so I'm converting swiftness, like more attack speed and movement speed as well. So it's a 16.42. If I get more, basically turn my charge lance and surge cannon up to about 19 to 20 seconds because I have level 10 cooldown gem. Now, what's important here is the cycle that the red gunlancer does. As you guys know, this is the combo, right? You do the Shadow Hatred, you do Bash, and then you Surge Cannon, and then you Charge Singer. Honestly, this is not 100% uptime. I kind of wanted this to be 100% uptime, but this is a taunt, so you can't really do anything about it, right? And for Bash, usually you can fit in 2 bashes up to 3 bashes in before doing any of your major skills. So when you add a bash in, you do your surge cannon, right? You do your charge stinger, and then you do your other skills at the same time, right? So there's another method where you also see judgment and conviction. You can start that one as well. But the point is, usually everything rotates around bash, and what people did, what Gunlancer players did was like, this bash setup is pretty hard, right? If you miss your bash, you're smooge. And that's why they increased the bash range. And bash also has like the attack power and the synergy on top of that as well, like as in the negative defense on the enemy. So surge cannon without bash and with bash is like night and day. 36, right? And then you can do add a bash in there, it's like 53. It's huge difference. But I'm pretty sure most of you guys know this already, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because that's how you allocate your stats. Right now I have 89. So if someone in chat, I mean, a couple hours ago someone already asked, right? It's like, how do you allocate your combat stats? You allocate it just enough crit rate that you are okay with, and you allocate everything else to swiftness. Now, why is this important? There's another build where you can put, this is the final build, right? But sometimes what people do is they take out Curse Doll and they swap Curse Doll into Adrenaline. And what happens there is when, let's say you have Adrenaline, if you have the full Adrenaline stack, right? And you can keep the Adrenaline stack up fairly easily with Red Condenser. You have what? You have 15% crit rate increase, right? So how much is 15% crit rate increase in general? Let's see. So I have this old calculator. If I want 15% crit rate, that's like almost 500, 450-ish. That's like 450-ish stat that can be allocated somewhere else. For example, if I have to be having this build, I can actually move over 1,000, about 400 to swiftness. So the swiftness is going to be like 1,300, right? 1,350. So it can be like backwards. So this is like a specific build. This is like a legitimate build. But what they also do is they swap skills to, like, let's say they can use this one to rotate the adrenaline stack much easier. So that's like an option. It's like, so this is like an example of a swiftness gun lancer, right? So this is like a problem of a gun lancer. Like your rotation's based off of like 2 setup skills. The same for Shadow Hatred too. And you also have mana problem, right? So when you go for like a high swiftness gun lancer, your rotation gets messed up. The more swiftness you have, it does sound good, but it only take away like a 0.5 seconds. I don't think that makes a big difference, at least in terms of DPS. So, and also another thing I kind of realized was this 6-second buff for ready attack made me allow to land all 4 skills. So if I show you here, so this is 6 seconds out, right? So let me land. So I can land up to like dash upper fire second hit now. It's pretty nice. But do I need to increase a little more? Now let's see, add in this level 2 Spirit Absorption, assuming that I have a Yearning. And mana, you actually add like mana like 2 or something like that to assume, to simulate that you have a support mana. So let me do it again. Okay. What if I add a little bit more swiftness? Nope. So I can't fit in all skills in, but I did fit in dash upper fire though. I think that's pretty huge. Because what happens is when bash buff only lasted 5 seconds, you could only fit in maybe like 2 skill and then like 1 hit of dash upper fire. So there's that advantage there. But the most important thing about this particular class is obviously bash before you do your main skills. I wish that this would have been changed, but they leave it that way. So Gun Lancer is going to be forever like this for a while. This is it. I mean, that is what it is. This is what Red Gun Lancer is. It doesn't really change from this point. And the patch itself made it a little easier for us because of the bash buff. And the general damage of every single skill has increased. So it's like an overall increase in DPS. The problem is I really want to use this skill called Counter Spear. And because Counter Spear is a really fun skill. But the thing is, you can't really replace anything. You could replace Fire Bullet, but Fire Bullet is one of those good skills that you can just squeeze in a little bit more a DPS, and also has good good destruction, good stagger. It's like a good utility skill that you could use. But if you use Counter Spear, you won't be using a skill at all. So some people do have Counter Spear on replacing Fire Bullet, which is an option. Some people do replace it for Spear Shot, but Spear Shot got buffed too. So the damage of Spear Shot, they're probably gonna be using this as a combination as well. So Gun Lancer has like a lot of issues. So the bash is one of them. Shadow Hatred is one of them too. And then if you're gonna use Nella, it's like it's more of a support thing. we have mana issues, so we use conviction and judgment, but sometimes if you screw that up, you still have no mana. So there's that one too. You can't go too much on swiftness by showing you guys an option of using the high swiftness with adrenaline plus using other skills to keep the adrenaline stack up, right? That one you lack mana too. So does that mean do I go nightmare? I don't think so, because if you go nightmare, what the problem is all the other skills are head attacks. So yeah, so that would be red. That's like the conclusion would be on red, because like there's really not much to talk about from the change.